you and arrange your seat. You may now take your seat. Let us check the attendance for today and see if there are no absences. As a form of our attendance, let me have it with a twist. So we're going to, as our form of attendance, we're going to shout your favorite breakfast meal, such as silog. It can be rice with itlog or a simple pandesal. So, am I clear, class? Okay. So, let's now start. Bautista. Oh, itlog. Andres. Okay. Bambao. Alright. So, perfect. There are no absences for today. And before we start, have you remember the guidelines that we agreed on the first quarter? Our classroom rules, the LEARN are the simply the learning. Let's read it, everyone. L for listen carefully, E for engage in all activities, A for act responsibly, R respect everyone, and N for never give up on learning. Okay, everyone, I am glad to see that you all executing this, our classroom rules. As a form of assessment, to test if you really understand our yesterday's lesson, today we're going to have an activity titled Boost the Phrase. In class, so in this activity, you're going to be grouped into five, and you will pick one representative each. So each group will going to draw one avatar here in the box. And once you draw, you're going to scan it using our cell phone to reveal the avatar's statement. And the statement that will be repeated is for you to decode. Whether it is a noun phrase, verb phrase, adverb phrase, adjective phrase, and prepositional phrase. So each group have 2 minutes to discuss and identify which phrase it belongs to. Am I clear, class? Okay, let's start. May I have the group 1 here in front?
Attracts many visitors. The beautiful garden
Again.
attracts many visitors. The beautiful garden.
It states here, the beautiful garden attracts many visitors. Alright, group 1, why did you answer this? It's a noun phrase. Alright, so it states that the phrase firstly said that the beautiful garden, which is a noun. Okay, very good. Now let's proceed with the group 2.
She is running. Is running.
Okay, what is your answer, group 2? Oh, a verb phrase. Why do you think so? Okay, alright. Your answer is correct. For the next group, group 3.
Lucy sings quite softly. Quite softly.
Okay. What is your answer, group 3? Oh, you answered adverb phrase. Why do you think so? Alright, that's correct. Now for the group 4.
Girl is very happy. Very happy.
Okay, what is your answer, group 4? Oh, it's an adjective phrase. Why do you think so, group 4? Alright, because it states there in the statement that the verb happy there is modifying the girl. Okay, so for our next and last group, the group 5.
The book is on the table. On the table.
Okay, so what is your answer, group 5? Oh, you answered prepositional phrase. Why do you think so? Alright, so because it states there that on the table is station of where the book is. Alright? Class, you did a good job and all of you had a correct answer. Give yourself a round of applause. To further assess your background knowledge about our topic for today that is very essential to our discussion later, I have here another activity for you guys. And it is titled, How Well Do You Know Me? I am going to give you this QR code. So, we will be going to use the site playground. And what you need to do is to read the question carefully, and once you want to answer, you're going to raise up this QR code. So this QR code, you're going to retain it if you're going to answer letter A. There is an indicator here that you're going to be answering letter A like this. You're going to raise it up here, then I will scan to reflect it in on my cell phone to record it if it's correct. So this one is letter A here, letter B here, letter C here, and letter D here. Okay, so I will be going to distribute this to each and every one. So here we're going to have another activity. It is titled Message and Deliver. So I'm going to paste here some of the cut words that being sent to you by your friend, but it is being cut because there was an internet interruption. So what you're going to do is you're going to complete the sentence or the thought being referred to you by your friend. So I will post this by randomly picking using a wheel of face. So are you guys ready? Okay, let's start. Yes, Michaela, come here in front. You have your text message. If I finish my project early, what do you think is the phrase or the clause that you're going to add to let you know what your friend are sending you? Okay? So I will be giving you a text box or a chat box to write your answer here in front. Michaela, you have your chat here if I finish my project early. So here is your chat box, and please take your answer here. Alright, so you're going to watch a movie when you finish your project early. Oh, that's a complete thought. Now I understand what your friend are trying to say. So again, we're going to call another student. As Eliza, you have your friend texted you. Unless you struggle, but there's an internet interruption. So what do you think your friend are trying to say to you? Alright, now that makes sense now that if you study well, you might pass the test. What a great sense you have there, Eloisa. Now let's proceed to the last one. We have Gawi. Okay, so your friend texted you when the bell rang. What do you think is your friend trying to say? Okay, so when the bell rang, we went back to our seat. What a great complete thought you have there, Gawi. And I'm glad every one of you have completed the text interrupted by your friend. Okay? Give yourself a big clap. Before we proceed, let's reflect a little. Class, what did you notice when I first flashed here the first message? Yes, Mitch? Okay, you see that there is something it is left you hanging, right? So what did you notice? So how do you feel when you add statement here? Yes, Brian? Oh, now it makes sense now. It doesn't left you wondering what your friend trying to say right now. Going to discover the world wherein some statements can stand alone and others can't. So before we proceed, let me show you the guidelines that you're going to be reminded, and take note for this so you will be guided and understand our lesson for today. So, can you read it, everyone? At the end of the discussion, the students are expected to identify the different type of clauses, differentiate independent and dependent clauses, create sentences using the type of clauses and apply them in one play scenario, and show enthusiasm in learning by actively participating in discussions and activities. So, now let's proceed. In class, we're going to the world of clauses. makes sense. And with this, what do you think? Or do you have any idea what are the two types of clause are? Yes, Michael. Alright, the independent and dependent clause. But before we proceed to our discussion, I will be giving you another activity titled Fill Me Up. So I will be distributing here a printed sheets wherein you can answer the following. So this will serve as your guideline throughout our discussion this morning. So here you're going to answer 4 pieces of information showing the differences and between the independent and dependent clause, and 2 information about their similarities. So I will be giving you allotted time where are you going to answer this activity, okay? Am I clear, class? Okay. So now let's proceed. So one of the type of clause we have here is the independent clause, just like what Michael said earlier. What comes to your mind when you hear the word independent clause? Yes, Mitch? Okay, so good point. An independent clause is a group of words that has a subject and verb. It also expresses a complete thought wherein it can stand alone or it can stand alone. So, here in independent clause, it is also a type of simple sentence wherein there is only a subject and a verb to make it sense, or to stand it alone. So, as a guide, I have here the pattern. Let's take a look at this pattern. Subject plus verb is equals to complete thought or sentence. Now let's have an example. I have here the dog barked loudly. What do you think this statement here is an independent clause? Yes, Michael. Very good. It is an independent clause. Why do you think so? Yes, Michaela. Okay, it has a subject, dog, and a verb, bark. And now, it comes to you that the dog barked loudly, or the loud comes from the dog, right? Now, it doesn't left you wondering why is it loud, or the dog, or there's only a dog, or there's only a bark. It has a complete pack of subject and verb wherein the dog barked loudly. So, do you understand, class? So if you really understand me, I have want students to come up with their own type of independent clause. Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. My brother plays the guitar. So let's see if it is an independent clause. Can somebody analyze the statement given by Michaela? Why do you think it is an independent clause? Yes, Brian. Okay, because it has a subject, brother, and a verb, plays. So, if you really understand the independent clause we have here, I have another activity for you. So, I have here the write it up. So I will be giving you this printed materials, and you're going to create 5 independent clause, and you're going to identify the subject and the verb of each sentences by putting in the initial S above the word of it. As for subject and for verb. Am I clear, class? Okay. Here you go. 3 times up, you may pass your paper forward, and I will going to check it, and once done, I will going to bring it back to you. So, going back to our activity Venn diagram, you may now start, and I will be giving you 2 minutes to complete that activity. You may now start. Alright, now let's proceed to another type of clause, in which is yes, Mitch. Yes, the dependent clause. And what comes to your mind when you hear the word dependent clause? Yes, Brian. Alright. That's a good start also. So the dependent clause is a group of words that also contains a subject and a verb. But it doesn't express a complete thought. And which means it can stand alone. So why do you think so? To analyze it and to let you understand that, we have this example. Although it was rain, do you think it expresses a complete thought or it gives you the full meaning of what I said? No, right? Because it is a dependent clause wherein the function is to let us wondering. So, the dependent clause has a starting word which is the conjunction, specifically the subordinate in conjunction. So, is there any one of you who knows the example of subordinate in conjunction? Yes, Faith. You're very good. So, here are some of the common examples of subordinate in conjunction. We have if, since, although, after, while, that, because, as, once, before, whether, were. And you can use this to create a dependent clause. So, let me have another. Based from the example I gave you, can someone create their own kind of dependent clause? Yes, Brian. Okay, let's see if that is a dependent clause. You gave me a because I was tired. So, can someone analyze it? Okay, it has a subject and a verb, which is the subject is I and the verb was. So, to further assess, let me have you this pattern. Do you think the example given by Brian is a dependent clause? Because I was tired. Again, let us analyze it again. So, because I was tired, in the statement given by Brian, what do you think is the subordinating conjunction used by the statement? Okay, very good. The because and which is here in our pattern. So, what do you think is the subject used in the because I was tired statement given by Brian? I, very good. So, what do you think to complete the dependent clause? What do you think is the verb used in the statement? Very good. The was, which is a leading verb. So, now, if you really understand the lesson of our dependent clause, let me have you another activity again, which is also write it up, but the dependent clause. So, just like the direction I gave you earlier, you're going to create 5 dependent clauses also and identify the conjunction by putting initial SC and the subject for S and the V for verb. Also, you're going to put it above the word that's being referred to. So, here you go. And you have 5 minutes to complete that activity. You may now start us. 8 times up, you may now pass your paper score. So, going back to our activity again, you're going to answer our Venn diagram. So, since you're going to put more information about the dependent clause and 2 similarities between the two, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to complete that activity. You may now start. Okay, time's up. You may now pass it forward. But before that, I'm if you got a correct answer by creating those tense sentences. Alright, congratulations everyone who got a passing score. So, what again is a clause that has a pattern subject plus verb is equals to complete thought or sentence? Yes, Mitch? Very good. That's an independent clause. How about the pattern that has a subordinated conjunctions plus subject plus verb, which equals to incomplete thought? Yes, Brian? Yes, that's an independent. That's a dependent clause rather. So I think we can proceed now to our activity this morning, since you all know and understand what our topic for today is. So today I will have an activity called Detect the Clause to further assess you if you really understand our lesson for today. I will be grouped you into three, and each of the group I will be providing you a tree folder. In each folder it contains a short passage in which you are going to identify the dependent and independent clause here. So you're going to underline the independent clause that is being used here in the passage and encircle those dependent clause. I will be giving you 5 minutes to complete this activity, class. Am I clear? Okay. Guys, give yourself a round of applause because you did a great job. Okay, so to further proceed in our discussion this morning, let me have you a question. So the first one is right. Correct. The independent and dependent you can take a picture, so, or I can even provide you a copy after this class. If you really appreciate our discussion for today, let me have you this kind of question, and I will be calling several students to answer this one. Let's first have how does being independent, like an independent class, help you take responsibility for your actions? Yes, Michelle. All right, what a good listening you have there. How about for question number 2? How can working with others like a subordinate boss help you achieve your goals? Yes, Ray. All right, what a teamwork you have there in your statement of reasoning. Let's give you a big clap. So, for your assignment, I will be giving you a search for the 4 types of sentences according to fraction. Look for their definition and create 2 examples each, and write your answer neatly on a 1 sheet of paper that will be submitted next meeting. Okay, class? I hope you understand and learned something from our discussion for today. Thank you, everyone. Class.